Why is Skunk not in the Skunk is still in the other lobby. Oh my god. What is he doing?
If I'm literally that quiet, that's not good.
Alright, Skunk's in now.
Like
Then we
Costa
need
Rica?
Hell here. He's changing his flag a lot. He's from France.
So we're waiting for J-Mac. And we're also waiting for... Hell is here.
Hell.
Right, okay.
Yeah, I just spammed Hell is here with invites. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Ah,
Thanks,
sweet.
Modern
12
Fodder,
people.
for the
Cool.
host. I appreciate it a lot. Had to give you a shout out there.
Oh, he's watching? I had no idea. Cool. Cool beans.
Alright. We have 12 people. This is fantastic.
No, well, we can't start because Skeppy needs to be in the McLaren.
Oh, yeah.
And, like, not
Alright.
everyone's even in the Discord yet.
Okay.
Yeah. I've got a good eye right now. I feel like we should be locked to spectators, but I don't even know at this point.
I think it's good that we're unlocked, so then we can change it if something happens. No, it sounds just like a stupid reason, but...
Yeah. Should I, like,
So-
since the stream's on, should I tell the Thornbush story? As we're waiting here?
Let's wait for a few more people to start watching. We can go ahead.
How many are watching? I'm not looking at the stream, so I don't have a clue.
I'll give you a hint. It's the number of final grades I've gotten for, like, the number of B's I've gotten as my final grade in high school.
So none?
Mm-hmm.
No, figures.
Hashtag humble brag.
It's like for maybe how many C's or D's and F's I got. B0. I've never gotten a C, D, or F on a final grade on anything. And I'm like really proud of that.
Swear to God, Austin. Okay.
All right, now Skeppy needs to change his car because he's unlocked. Come on, bro.
There he is.
Is he platinum? Is that platinum he's got there? Ah, sick.
I assume.
Now Dion needs to lock him.
Okay. Okay.
Actually, no, I'm not gonna turn the fan on. That'd be a bad idea.
Okay. All right, let's start since it's a good time. But, anyways, welcome to BDF 48 Gaming Stream. It is 7:32 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're getting to roll here in just a few minutes, just getting all the final preparations done and dusted, and we will be getting away with qualifying right away. And this week I have Lucky Dog back in the booth with me. So tell us how last week went.
Well, I mean, I wasn't there for it, but I did watch it, and all I'm going to say is that a lot of chaos that happened is just typical Baku. A lot of crashes happened. I think more than half the field DNF'd the race, which I guess is to be expected with that circuit, but hopefully it won't happen here in Spa. However, we might see the same mistakes happen as Eau Rouge on this game is extremely challenging for drivers to get right. The car tends to be very light in the middle of it. It can be very easy to spin out. Also, it's known for having variable weather conditions, so we may see some rain here or there. So, all in all, maybe a very intriguing race. We may see a first-time winner around here. It could be we might see an underdog spoil it.
Indeed, we might see an underdog. We've seen it in 5 of the last 3 races. We've had a first-time winner. 5 of the last 3 races. Yep. 3 of the last 5 races, we've had a first-time winner. In KSI at Australia, Skunk at China, and last week Sparky with his comeback win at Azerbaijan. But what you said about the weather, it's a good point to make. 3 of the 5 races we've had this season have had some kind of rain. So it's been a pretty rainy season. And this track, as you've also mentioned, has variable weather patterns. If you look at last season, if some of you guys are watching, came down to the final laps, and then with about 5 laps to go, it starts raining. And it just became a mess to try to play the right strategy and get the right position. In fact, at the very end of that race, 3rd place ended up crashing out, which at that time was Duke the Rebel. Realistic Laugh got his first podium because of that incident, and also Mercedes' first podium, first of many, as you've seen them do a good job this season. There has been a Mercedes driver on the podium in each of the last 4 races. They will be trying to increase that streak by the end of tonight. But anyways, we head to qualifying, and as you saw right there, Eau Rouge and Radion, probably the most difficult corners on the F1 calendar. Tryouts was crazy here. We had a huge wreck up at this part of the track, and in general, it's just a crazy place to manage. We've seen a lot of crashes happen here, both in real life and on this game, and these drivers are going to have to be able to tackle that 22 times if they want to.
Yeah, that's definitely right. Also, this track is known for abusing the tires a bit. The fastest compound we have is the Super Softs on the season, where we had the Ultra Softs, and that was an absolute that was a tragedy for those Ultra tires. And now we got Super Softs. However, that doesn't mean that they will still wear pretty significantly. But we've also got the softs and mediums. I've been hearing around that a lot of people are thinking about doing a soft and medium strategy if the race is fully dry. So we've had to keep an eye on that. Keep an eye on who's going to qualify in the supers. Keep an eye on who's going to qualify on the softs. But by the looks of it, it's looking pretty cloudy out right now. So we may see some weather hit at the end of qualifying, but we will see.
Yeah, we never know. We've got 18 minutes here in this qualifying session, and we don't know the weather patterns, but those drivers do. So we'll see if anybody tries to make an early run for qualifying, and if we see a lot of people doing that, there's a chance that it might rain later. So I think this is also what happened last year. I might not be right about that, but it rained during qualifying, and a lot of drivers DNF'd. So it's going to be tricky to try to master this circuit. It already is in the dry. It's even worse in the rain. As you see Skep roll out on track. By the way, he did just follow me on Twitch, so thank you for the follow. I had to shout you out for that one. He is coming off of his first start last week. This is his 2nd start in the league. He ran a pretty solid 3rd for the first third of the race until Tactical Austin messed up coming through the final turns and was basically spun in a blind corner, and Skep had nowhere to go and pile drove him, ending his race instantly. And a funny thing of that is, after his car was completely wrecked, I guess it was ghosted on Sparky's screen, but Sparky went right through that car, and Skep went upside down, flipping down the front stretch. Definitely a highlight for this season, even if it actually did happen or not. And yeah, we'll see if he can do better this week.
Yeah, and speaking about that, we have a few new drivers in here. If any of you saw last week, SnB, he drove for Sabra last week, but since Real Steel is unable to complete the rest of the season, therefore that's an open spot for SnB to fill in the McLaren seat. He'll be teammates with KSI. These two are both pretty good friends. They race in the same leagues with each other, so watch out for that team to be the next Red Bull from last season. And also, speaking of Red Bull, we got PPRL Sparky, last week's winner, in his first start, no less. Got the win. He's also races in the same group as SnB and KSI, racing in the same leagues. A very quick driver he is. He's pretty good. From what I've been told, he's struggling at this track. He's quick here, but he tends to be very inconsistent at Eau Rouge, and that's going to be a common theme we're going to be seeing here at this track. We're going to see a lot of people messing up. It's just, compared to last game, and compared to any of the games like Forza or Project Cars, it's just the car gets so light, it becomes very difficult to control. You have to change your line, sometimes lift off, but those are the two new drivers in this league. We may see more in the future, who knows, but so far, these two new young guns here are definitely giving us a good show.
Speaking of young guns, we have Hellas here. He didn't make a start last season. He made a few starts last season, but relatively new for this season. He capped off last race with a runner-up at Baku with a final second pass on KSI Ain't Scared. That really made him happy throughout this week, and he's looking to do better this week. He nails Eau Rouge and Radion going up the hill and now going down the first DRS straight. Braking speeds of around 210 miles an hour for the people who can't do the conversions. But a pretty fast track, and we have a pretty fast driver on hold. He's on the softs, although it says every softs. The tire compound that's on the car is soft, but you know F1 has a glitch for that if you guys have noticed in the past few races. But as you see, the 92 hit the wall right there in the middle of Sector 2. This is a tricky track. You got to nail it well, but here's Skep. A little bit of lockup. Going through the final chicane. Bringing a little wide through that second part. He's going to roll to the line with a 1:44.4. That is the pole time for now. J-Mac is only 1 second off.
Yeah, I was about to say, Skeppy, that's not a great lap there by him, I feel. He's done 43s before in these conditions, and I think I may or may not have seen a raindrop come down. So it's very essential for these guys to get their laps in thick and fast, but Skeppy missed the final apex of that painter. Not a great final sector, but he's hoping to definitely improve in that lap, but who knows, that may be his only chance at a lap, because I'm pretty sure I did say a raindrop, but it may just be me, you know, going paranoid. As Hellas here goes to the top 1-8 on those soft tires. Another guy who's been pretty quick in the time trials and is definitely one to put up a fight against KSI.
Here we go, Tactical Austin now rolling through the final turn. Not the best lap at the moment. It's a 1:44.8 that's invalidated. So he's going to have to avenge himself. But now here comes his teammate, Sparky, winner from last week, pole sitter and winner. Led over half the race, all in the second half, and was able to win. He's coming to the line, and he runs a 1:44.3, barely beating out Skep, but hell is here, showing he's got qualifying prowess and continues to hold the pole by about half a second.
Here we go, KSI running up to the line right now. He's going to go up P1 right now by 2,000ths.
2,000ths! That is the pole time right now. Good lap for him. The sun is starting to come out, so that might be a good sign.
Yeah, that was right to the depth right there. That was an amazing lap there by KSI to just eke out 2,000ths of a second on Hellas here. These two are looking very similar. I mean, as if, you know, they already are pretty similar on pace, if not almost identical. So this should be a really good fight, but at the end of the day, what's more important is the race and see who's more consistent. And KSI, in the dry, is very consistent, but after watching him practice in the rain, he was having a very tricky time.
Spec. Sorry to interrupt you, but he crashed at Radion. Luckily, he did not wreck him. But he's definitely going to have to come down pit road again. Luckily, that car isn't destroyed, so he'll be able to work that back to pit road. But now we look at Justin, who finished 5th last week. He's been racking home some solid top 5s and is being a Pretty solid driver with Risen Midnight. They're fighting for that constructor. The constructor championship battles between 4 teams right now. Between the big 3 in F1, Mercedes, Red Bull, who I think is winning right now, and Ferrari. And you also have McLaren with KSI and SnB. You have 4 really good teams with all pretty talented, all going for a constructor's title. So maybe the championship might be over by the time we get to the last race, but I promise you the constructor battle will not. And we see Justin working around this track. Old Canadian, trying to master Belgium.
Just like watching Justin a bit. He's very new to these games. He's holding the brake by the looks of it way too long. It's causing him to understeer and have to use a lot of steering input. He's just pressing on that brake into the corners. It's just causing him to have major understeer. And I don't think he's downshifting at the correct points. But he's been doing a great job nevertheless. Despite being very inexperienced. See, look there, he's in 4th gear to the bus stop, the first part of the bus stop actually, sorry, that's the wrong gear to be using, but up to the line he goes. He's up to P5, so still a pretty decent lap there by him so far.
And notice the first 4 are on softs and the next 2 are on super softs. Even though the soft is the slower comp, they're doing a relatively good job. As you see, so his teammate though, Riot, he was on an out lap. He is coming off his best finishes of the year. The podium at Canada and a 4th place at Baku, which was a track mainly about survival. He was able to survive just like his former Renault driver Rick did last season. And we'll be looking for the same here. If you guys recall in the tryout race, he did win. He was able to survive the massive crash on lap 2. Because we have a lot of yellow flags going off. That's not...
Yeah, Howard's gear had a little off after 3. I don't know if he's going back to the pits or not. He's still in the soft tires, but I did see he went off in the first corner of the 3rd sector there. I'm not sure if he was pushing it too much or just lost a bit of focus, but he did lose it there. He's going straight to the pits now, but this track's very difficult it's difficult on the tires in general, but just it's a lot of zone areas where you lose it on traction, and that's one section where you can do that. There's Puan as well, that very long left-hander. If you're a little too greedy on either the inside or the outside curves, it can send you in a spin really quick. So this track, compared to last game, I feel it's no slouch. The track is no slouch no matter where, like what game you're on. Instead of Corsa, Project Cars, Forza, but this one especially, it's very, very tiring on these guys.
Yeah, I was going through Puan earlier today in a practice session, and I went wide. Turned the car a little more than I should have, and Spec out of qualifying again. A really unlucky trend for him on DNFs. Hopefully he can recover during. It'd be difficult to do so starting from the back. But anyways, I was doing a practice session there, and I was turning the car way too much to the left, and I started to spin. So I went to the right, steered, did a bunch, like a serious overcorrecting, went straight into the outside wall and started barrel rolling. I barrel rolled in this game. I don't know how I found a way. You are talking to the guy that's flipped like 6 times in one turn in Homestead, but it's difficult to do. But at this track, it makes it seem pretty easy. It's high speeds, high risk, high reward. We're going to be talking about Eau Rouge and Radion all day long, or all night long. It's been really rough for these drivers. Last rough in tryouts, it's going to be rough again this season. And so far, everyone seems to have been doing a solid job of not DNFing now. We've only seen Spec spin out there, but other than that, relatively clean for the moment. We'll see if they can do that 22 times in the race.
Yeah, there's Skunk VTEC on these soft compound tires. What's happened here?
Austin and VTEC maybe, after the first chicane, got into the ground.
Nah, he just grazed it a bit. They grazed it.
Oh, Dion has lost a wing.
Yeah, I was saying here, Skunk VTEC, number 97 Mercedes, going through the Fania chicane right now. Keeping it very smooth, keeping it very tight. Won twice already so far this season. Unfortunately, DNF'd in Baku. Was a very difficult all-around weekend there. Got a warning after impeding 2 drivers' qualifying laps. Crashed out in the race, so it was a very difficult time for him. Now he's going to try and bounce back from his mistakes and try to get his 3rd win of the season. So far, no one's been able to get 3 wins. It's down to him and KSI to see who will be the first of three. Here he goes. He's going to exit the bus up chicane right now. Keeping it in second gear. Maybe that's the best exit. ERS wide open, and that's going to be a 43-1. A very solid lap time there by the Frenchman. 43-1. That's a pretty decent lap here, and that's not even at the end of the session. We'll have to see if he's going to do another lap on his super softs, but I think that may be his qualifying over. I think he's going to be very satisfied with that. But we've seen some guys like KSI, he was going to super soft, so it's going to be a very interesting qualifying session. It's going to be very mixed when it comes to the race on what tires people will be starting on.
KSI's teammate right now through sector 2.
Yeah, there he is, SnB on the supers as well. I think both these guys, I remember they were talking a little bit, and I don't know if they're fully set. If one was going to do start in the softs or one was going to start in the supers, but it seemed like they wanted to start in the supers to get that extra track position, play no games, and just race their own race really. But here we go. There goes SnB.
Right to the 4th.
SnB all the way up to second now. Very reasonable lap time there, 43.2, only a 10th off Skunk. So maybe not the best ever for him. I think he said he could do quicker. Still, we'll have to see if he's going to be able to do one more lap. At the moment on the front row for SnB.
So looking at the
weather,
weather,
said before,
looking at what Midnight has said, it looks like it's going to be cloudy to start and then sunny throughout. So maybe weather won't play a factor.
Well, that's something that KSI would love to hear because he's in the rain. He hates the rain, racing in the rain in this circuit. So for it to be fully dry for the rest of the race, I think he'll be very happy. And in practice, he was just losing the car left, right, and center. Just could not get the balance right.
We got less than 4 minutes. Qualifying is definitely counting down. And we have people coming in for their final stops, so then they can get one more run out there. I think you want to be leaving the paddock by 2 minutes. 1:45, you're really cutting that close. But I think
oh, wait, really close. That is borderline. Not gonna get a lap in. If you just want
to be out of the pits by 1:40 at best, and then once you get out of the pits at 1:40, you need to basically go on a qualifying lap to get to the line, and then you need to run another qualifying lap.
Nah, that wouldn't be the best strategy. I would leave about 2:30, maybe even, maybe a little less than that. But you want to make sure on your out lap that you don't waste your tires. You want to make sure that you have a good clean set, so you can put it all on the line in the actual qualifying lap. Leaving it around like 1:45, you're gonna put yourself in a big hole if you didn't set a lap beforehand. So we'll have to see. Hopefully, none of these guys will be going out a little late in the session because that'll be heartbreaking to watch.
Yeah, you see all these guys, it's going to be questionable, but KSI is on a lap. We'll see if he can get his
I think
second pole. Justin wide, he's going to let him by. That might have ruined his tires a little. Smart move there.
KSI's on the out lap. Yep. No, this is the start of KSI's lap right here.
KSI to start his lap. VTech is going to be out one more time. Sparky out one more time. Doesn't look like Midnight's going to go out though. Kind of questioning that call, but looks like that's what's going to be
very
happening.
Good. He's good at rebounding and starting at the back of the field. He does that intentionally just because he's that good of a racer. But I mean, I would rather see him qualify and start up front and see what he could do. Let's focus on second place man in points, KSI. Goes through the late comms, very nice, keeping it in fifth gear. Kind of surprising. I would keep it in fourth gear for the better acceleration, better grip. Now all the way down to third gear for this corner. Actually, shorts us up to fourth. Interesting gear choice there. Now into No Name, he's going to keep it in fifth. Very nice and tidy now. Heading to 2-1. Let's see what he's going to use. He's going to use down to sixth. There we go. Very nice there. Doesn't go out wide. Doesn't cut the corner. Very clean. Now for the Fanny chicane, he's going to go a little wide there. Use a bit too much curve, but he makes it work though. He's getting fifth gear. Uses all the Kirby Kennedy exit. Down to fourth gear. A little bit wide. Nice to clean here. That's a very difficult right-hander there. It'd be very easy to lose the back end. Now all the way up to 8th gear, one of the fastest parts of the track. Heading to Blanchiment where Verstappen made his around the outside overtake on Nasser. Now heading to the final sequence of corners, the bus stop. Down into 3rd gear, hits the apex very nicely, keeps it in 3rd, surprisingly enough.
Very solid lap on board. It's a 1:42.5.
On pole.
Justin is
not
out.
over yet. We got one more guy that
completing this lap. May have been a crash up Eau Rouge. Or Radion, whatever you want to freaking call it. We got VTech on a lap.
Very tidy.
Sparky's going to be on a lap. Austin's going to make it in by about 8 seconds. J-Mac, he's not getting back in time. Dion is going to be on his lap. Midnight will not run a time. Spec will not run a time. Justin, DNF'd, and Skep, Hella's here, Riot 2, and J-Mac all do not get in on time. So now it comes down to the final 3 people looking for a lap, which is VTech, Sparky, and Tactical Austin.
VTech got a little wide and Puon. He's a little wide here.
VTech is the first one out of these guys. He's got to make up about half a second, a little more than half a second. But he has softer tires, and that might help.
Oh,
runs a little wide through there,
wide.
though. Making a lot
I don't know
of
if that may even validate his
mistakes.
zap or not. I don't know. I think he still got it. But he could definitely gain an extra half a second with these compound tires. We're gonna have to see right here through the bus up how late can he break at 100-meter board down to 2nd gear.
Oh!
Oh, I think he may have invalidated his lap there. Yeah, no, he did. I'm looking at his steering wheel. He did invalidate his lap. That is a massive shame. But on the bright side, though, he will be starting on these soft compound tires, so he can stint in KSI and not have to worry about extending those medium compound tires. So that's a plus.
Here comes Sparky at the line. He's gonna get pole.
Pole!
By 3.5 tenths. That's 2 races in a row for him. He has provisional pole. We'll see if his teammate can break it. Austin's running a solid lap. And he's gonna get to 3rd.
Wow, that's impressive for both Red Bulls there. First and 3rd.
I'm pretty sure this is the 2nd race in a row, Red Bull 3rd.
I think it is too. Yeah, I think they finished qualified 1st and 3rd in Baku. So that's very great stuff for the Red Bull team. Picking up where they left off last season.
And VTech in the final minute falls from 1st to 4th. But luckily he will be on harder compound, so that could help him out. But these are your qualifying results for the 2nd week in a row. We have that beautiful red, white, and blue up in the top 3. 2 weeks ago, we didn't see any of them on the podium, but last week we saw 3 of them on the podium. So we'll see what happens this week. But Lucky, who do you think is going to win this race?
Well, it's going to be very difficult because there's always that aspect of strategy that comes to these races. And I think on pace and consistency, I think KSI is definitely one of the favorites. He's very consistent in the dry, and that's something he's got on his side. Sparky, on the other hand, he's got quick. He's got the 1-lap pace. But KSI told me he just tends to lose his consistency on the track, tends to mess up Eau Rouge a lot. So I think he'll be having him maintaining that pace over a long period of time. But bear in mind, Skunk VTech, he is no slouch. He did a really good lap on the soft tires, much quicker than KSI. So, you know, there's that, and he's can also go longer into the stint, and he'll have fresher medium compound tires at the end of the race. There's just a lot to look for. And also, let's not count out Midnight, because he's also in the race. He may not have qualified, but he's very known for having a very good race pace. But the thing is whether or not he's actually prepared enough for this race in order to give himself a podium position to maintain his championship lead.
The big 3 are the ones to watch out for, but of course we could have somebody else win this race and make a serious battle for the championship. We are awaiting the 5 red lights, and we are awaiting the start of this race. We've always seen crazy stuff happen on lap 1, but the initial start has been pretty clean. We'll see if that continues. That trend will continue. Hopefully it does continue. But anyways, here we are. The 5 red lights are out, and the race is underway. Here we are in the Belgium Grand Prix. The It's a fight in
It's like,
turn
oh,
one
there's contact at
between.
the start.
It's a fight in turn one between
KSI
Mercedes
and Sparky
and
got a little contact.
Sparky gets the jump. KSI in second. We have so many guys going for third. Mercedes side by side up for fifth. VTEC is able to
What a move by
maintain the
VTEC.
position. But it's a mess further back. We have a battle for the lead continuing.
KSI gonna try to go around the outside of Sparky. Is this gonna work?
Contact. KSI takes the lead on lap 1. Skep's gonna hold
Great stuff
Austin.
there. McLaren Red Bull at the end of Sector 1. Skunk VTEC in 5th, Hell is here in 6th, and 2 Mercedes. Now it's a strategic overtaking there by Ain't Scared. KSI just, you know, he hung back behind him, put it in the high ERS mode, and got past him. And right before the difficult second sector where the dirty air is very evident. So great stuff by him, and he can keep Sparky at bay and cause Sparky to make a few mistakes behind him since he doesn't have the consistency in. But Sparky is still right behind KSI for the lead. He may put up a move before us, Dr. Kane.
Oh!
Oh! Easy goes very wide through. What corner is that? Is that Stavlo? Right, that is Stavlo. He went very wide there. Going, I think he's got any damage. So he's lucky there, but that's another very difficult corner. You have to be absolutely perfect in order to get that corner right. So just got lucky.
Oh, Spec. Out of the race again.
I think Spec may have made a mistake at Blanchimont. That was in the 3rd sector. Unfortunate outcome of the race for Elite Specs. He's just not had the season like his teammate.
We have had crazy moves on lap 1, and we've got a battle for 4th on hand. Austin
loses it.
almost lost it there. Incredible save. Side by side for 4th. VTEC's gonna have the position.
He's already got the move.
Austin's going for the move,
gonna go to the
though.
inside.
Not gonna happen.
Skunk's got it. Up to P4 there, where he started. Lost a few places off the start, probably due to those soft compound tires, but there he goes. He's now where he needs to be.
Oh, we have a battle
Both
for
Mercedes.
second. Skep was side by side there. Locked up, though. He's got to take care of those tires, and already.
Yes, Sparky's made a mistake. He's
up.
lost an insane amount of ground to KSI. My theory is that Sparky may have had a little bobble up Eau Rouge. He goes very wide through 2 on both he and Skeppy go very wide. Not the mistakes you want to be making at this point in time. I was going to say before, bear in mind both are... Oh, easy go. The man is going on everywhere. I was going to say that both Mercedes are on the soft compound tires, so we're going to have to pay... Oh! How is here a big crash? Stavlo. A matter for the Mercedes driver. Hits the wall. Finished 2nd last week at Baku. That's his 2nd DNF of the season. A heartbreak for the Mercedes driver. Wanted to have a good result, keep his momentum up. But now his race ends on lap 2. As KSI has the fast stop of the race.
DRS is about to be disabled. Enabled. 3 drivers. You could cover them with a blanket. A blanket.
A blanket?
I messed that up.
Ah, sure they
A blanket. Cover them with a blanket, as Frozen Toast 24 would say. By the way, she is out here in the stream. Shout out to her.
Oh, good.
We have these 2 gunning for 3rd. We also have Austin in the distance. And now VTEC's going to have DRS. He's definitely going to have the momentum going into this right here, side by side.
He's got the move. Oh, maybe not. Skeppy's going to try and do an undercut. Maybe. No, he's good. He's got P3 already. Fantastic stuff there by the Mercedes driver. Now he's got... Oh! Launched it into Bruzel. That was very scary. Sparky's already on lap 3. That was crazy there. You have to keep an eye on Skunk, though. He's on the soft compound tires. He doesn't have to worry about his teammate anymore. He doesn't have to worry about getting undercut or anything. Now he's just on his own. Doesn't have to worry about getting stacked up either. He just needs to run his race. You know, keep his tires in check. Try to pull away from Skeppy, and also try to make sure that Sparky's in the distance, because Sparky does have a 3-second time penalty. But it looks like Sparky is slowly gaining on KSI, the leader. But look at the battle for 4th right now. We got Austin still right behind Skeppy. A pretty good challenge. We head to the bus-up chicane. Gonna stay in behind him, very wise of him. Some people would have made a risky move and do a dive bomb, but that would have been the smartest move. Sparky now sits past that for 147.1. So I think that was I want to say half a second quicker than what KSI did on lap 2. So the super softs are definitely not wearing out as fast as I thought they would. So that's good to hear.
Skep gets a time
Skeppy now gets a 3-second time penalty up Radion. And Austin didn't have this great of a no rouge as well. Lost almost over half a second. Now 1 section of track. Look down the order here, we're going to see that Risen Midnight now has moved up 4 places. He's in 7th position right now. About 3 and a bit seconds behind Ride 2 in the Renault. Not the best start we were, anticipating, but he's definitely made some places. These guys were cut out to help with the safety car in order to get in the thick of it. Because right now, before the start of the race, he had a 10-point advantage over KSI. Now since KSI's leading, KSI would assume the lead of the championship, which is not what Midnight would want to see.
KSI would be up by 9 points over Midnight.
May not seem like a lot, but you lose 19 points, I believe, if that's correct, because he would have, that's a lot of points to lose in one race. Even if you have done all you can do, it's a little concerning. Sparky's all over the place, dancing that car up right in center out of the bus-up chicane. He's now a second behind KSI, so he does pace.
KSI may have made a mistake on that final turn, because it was 1.3.
Oh, he may have. Yeah, he may have not got a better exit, but I've also been noticing that KSI's been using higher gears through the bus-up, which doesn't help. Oh, wow, Sparky almost loses it up a rouge there. That was heart and mouth stuff
Austin.
right there. Purple driver. Yeah, Austin was 2 seconds behind Skeppy. He's just been losing so much time to that section of track. That was the same area where he ended up crashing out in the tryout race. So I think that he's got to keep that in the back of his mind and try to be patient as patient as possible. Bear in mind he is 3rd in the championship, and he can gain a lot of points on Midnight if Midnight has an accident. At the moment right now, it's been pretty spread out around the circuit. Nothing too spectacular happened at the moment. Besides how was here's massive crash and Stablo on lap 2. That was an insane accident, but very heartbreaking. Just can't seem to get a break. He's either podiums or crashes for the Mercedes driver.
I completely missed that wreck. I just saw the aftermath. So, lucky by me, but Sparky all of a sudden has lost a lot of time. That's a half. I'm not too sure why. He's in mode 0.
He's in mode 0 there. That's probably what'll do it.
Oh, he's going into pit road.
He's gonna undercut him now. He's going into pits.
KSI with the best.
And also, 46.9. That's a pretty good lap there by him.
This late in the
There you go.
run,
Let's see what tires. It's going to be the medium compound tires for Sparky's. He's got a 5-second. Was it? No, it's lag again. Gosh darn it. This game fools me every time. But anyway, medium compound tires for Sparky. Not sure what other compound he could have really gone for. I mean, I don't know exactly how long these tires can last. It's going to be up to him to see if he can get these tires to the end, which will be a very big ask. As this is Spa, and Spa is very challenging. And he's gone for Rouge. He's crashed. Immediately out of the pits, he has crashed up Rouge. Rouge's wheel, and his race is over.
Oh, you can see the aftermath there.
Heartbreaking last week's winner. And I am surprised that the safety car has not been called out yet, because that was a massive accident. Wow, that's just a bit of a warning for Pitt. Now, I don't know if his tires probably weren't that cold, but I think that was just him pushing too hard on tires that have the least amount of grip because they are the medium compound tires, but that is a warning for everyone else to be careful as possible on your outlap. Man, that was, wow, that was crazy stuff there. Just gonna look at Risen Midnight now. He's up to 6th place, profiting from Sparky's incident. 1 second behind the ride too, so he's gained 2 seconds from the last time we looked at him before. So he's definitely starting to pick up the pace a little bit, but we all know by now that Midnight has a very conservative driving style, doesn't push it too hard, not very spectacular, keeps it very calm, cool and relaxed with the ERS as well. He's only at 70%, which is for a track like here where we saw Sparky had around 30% left, so just keeping it just very calm at the moment, just not doing erratic, not doing anything stupid. Just trying to get...
VTech is closing in a hurry on KSI.
I don't know what to say there. Yeah, you look at his ERS too, he's losing a lot of ERS. He's put down to mode 0 as a result of that. But yeah, he's definitely on the move right now with his soft compound tires that won't degrade as much as KSI has a lot of ERS left. That is very impressive by the McLaren driver. He goes, wow, he goes very close against the wall at no name.
This is a chess match going on between the front two.
That's going to be a question of whether or not KSI is going to come to the pits right now. I would assume I would guess he would. I'm not sure how long, maybe lap 8 at the max is when you can take these super soft tires, but other than that, it looks like it's in Skunk's hand. I don't know how long these softs go either. They could definitely go longer than the supers. I think it just depends on the driver's driving style. And Skunk is a very smooth driver.
What incident? Sector 3, Skep has spun.
Stavilo once again catches out another victim. It caught out Hellas here. Now it's caught out Skeppy. Fortunately, he doesn't have any. He has a DNF in the race. Sorry, I think he does have some damage to the car. I did see a bit of wing fly.
He does. He has some. He has quite a bit of wing damage on that.
He's gonna right front end plate. He's gonna need to go to the pits now anyway. It's at that point where those supers are kind of at their, you know, at their worst. That is horrible news for the McLaren driver. It seems like these drivers are just starting to lose a little bit of concentration with the cars now, starting to lose a little bit of grip. That wasn't good there. That was a double McLaren podium for the moment. Now it seems to have gone away, but who knows with this race, how this race can unfold. Gonna put on the medium compound tires, change his front wing. Essential if you want to be competitive at a circuit like this where there is a lot of downforce heavy corners. But speaking about that, this is mostly very low downforce setup as a result of the amount of long straights that we have here. It's still manageable to drive with very low downforce. And Skunk now has a 3-second time penalty.
That's going to make his run to the front a lot more difficult.
For sure. This KSI has not got a penalty. I'm going to actually check the race director now. He has only got 2 warnings, so he's got 1 more warning left before it's going to be a head-to-head fight between him and Skunk.
I think it's VTech and Scappy that have time penalties. Sparky did have 1, but he's out of the race.
Yeah, I believe that is right.
Battle's a 4th heating up, though.
Yeah, Midnight still starting to find a rhythm right now. I don't really think he did any practice before this race. He didn't show up to any of the practices. I think he's now just starting to find his feet as he has gained 3 seconds on a Ride 2. Ride 2's been pretty quick this weekend, running around a 5th place spot. Maybe even a little, actually maybe a little bit slower, but it's been pretty consistent. He's having a he's very happy with the car. I'm talking to him. It's been pretty stable for him. And that is the best thing that's the best thing you want at a circuit like this, which explains why he was very successful in a tryout race before the start of the season.
The front 3 all made pit stops, and they all came for mediums, so actually Austin's going to come out on softs. Interesting call there.
Yeah, very interesting too that.
He's a lot of time up Eau Rouge.
He made a massive mistake up Eau Rouge there. He lost the back end, but now he's going to Skunk pit at the same time. So that's a very intriguing call there. Props to KSI for making those super softs last the distance, and unfortunate for Skunk that didn't work. work out in his favor as I burp 3 times in a row. That's difficult for me. But anyway, say also on the soft tires, he probably is anticipating not going the end of the race in the medium tires, so he's going to try an alternate strategy, try to do a 2-stopper. That's a very interesting call by him. We'll have to see if that pays off for him at the end of this race. As a result, he can really eke out his gap to SnB, who had an incident before, so now he's got plenty of time to try and stretch that gap out, since SnB does have a time penalty. And try to hold on to 5th place. Well, actually, a theoretical 3rd, if ride to a midnight pit, which I did forget about before.
Gap is closing once again between the front 2, and the gap is closing between 3rd and 4th as well. Entering pit road, it was about 1.5 seconds, and now it is under half a second.
Yeah, now we're gonna really see
line. Riot 2 pits as your leader, so Midnight's gonna have control, but 2nd and 3rd right on each other. This is theoretical battle for the lead. KSI will be able to hold it. They should both have DRS on the next straightaway.
Oh, this is gonna be great.
Oh, Rouge.
It's gonna be great. We may see 2000 Mika Hakkinen and Schumacher at stuff right here, since Risen Midnight on this long straight. Here we go.
Got a good
DRS there. Wide open now. Will it be enough?
The gaps are closing.
So
KSI is
going to make a move inside.
Go back in line.
Backs out of it.
VTech locks up to the outside for the lead. These guys are side by side. Midnight runs a little wide. Still side by side. Midnight's going to hold on. KSI back to the inside. VTech locks up. They're still side by side. KSI finally is able to clear. And he is your leader once again at Spa. And now we have VTech back in 3rd. He's going to have to try to get past Midnight quickly before he loses time.
That's not what he wanted to see. Now he's got a lot of work to do to get back up to where KSI is. He's 2nd behind KSI now, since he couldn't get by Midnight on those 9 apples, soft tires. These must be in pain and agony out there. Now this is Skunk VTech's prime opportunity to make an overtake at the end of Stablo. We'll see, he's gonna put it in mode 5. Nope, that's Midnight. Sorry, I'm getting the coach here. He's gonna put it in mode 4, which to give him speed. He's gonna make a move. No, he can't. He's losing so much time to KSI.
There he goes.
Move to the inside. Down into bus stop, 2nd
there
gear.
He goes, up to 2nd. And now Midnight's going to pit.
As Midnight makes it to the pits.
It's going to be interesting to see how he stacks up against Riot 2, but I am fairly confident that Riot 2 is going to be able to come out ahead. But look at that gap now, up to 1.8.
That's the difference it can make from that hard to passing one. It's just a track like this where the 2nd sector is just very demanding and the aerodynamics. It can lose you a lot of time right there. It lost him 1.5 seconds. That's a lot of time around this track. And there we go. As Midnight
has lost a lot of time in regards to the battle for 4th. They were one behind the other, and now the gap is around 3 seconds as he takes Rouge very cautiously.
Yeah, but he's got that 1 lap extra, 1 lap newer tires. I don't think that'll really benefit him.
3-second time penalty.
Well, that'll benefit him. He's got
Oh, no, he's good. He's good. He came off the curb there, and I got scared. But
yeah, 2-1, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is a very challenging corner, especially just hit the inside curb too much, you're gonna spin. If you hit the outside curb, even though it doesn't even feel like an outside curb. If you even touch it, just all over the place. It's like an ice skating rink when you're racing. So great car control there by Skunk there. As I've said there like 4 times in a row. That's fantastic stuff by me. Anyway, now Skunk has increased the gap by quite a lot, by half a second. Now we're gonna really see the pace within these guys. Skunk half a second quicker than KSI and Skurd on the same compound tire, same age as well. So we're now starting to see the pace difference between these two. We've been waiting for this for such a long time. It's the 6th race of the season, and we've never seen them have a head-to-head fight. We never really got to see a true comparison in pace And I think today is going to be the race where we will see that. And it looks like at the moment that VTech is starting to stretch out, flex his muscle a little bit, as he's half a second quicker than KSI for the moment.
Yeah, he is on the close.
Yeah, he's now within a second of KSI, and he's not even pushing it. He's in mode 0 at the moment. So just amazing stuff right now by the Frenchman.
So this is the battle to see who can get the 3 wins first.
That is going to be a battle between these two and see who will get their 3rd win first. At the moment, KSI has, I believe, 60. Wow, he got very loose. At the end of sector 2 is right to get another 3-second time penalty. That was pretty quick by him. But KSI has 15-point advantage over Skunk VTech, so VTech is going to need KSI to really start to make more mistakes like he just did there. Really gain an advantage in order to get close to him, try to get ahead of him in the point standings, because he's right behind him now on the start-finish straight. As he sets another fastest lap, even in mode 0 ERS, the 46.3. Amazing stuff there. He's right behind him at La Source. I believe that's the corner. Yes, La Source. I'm looking at track La Source. Good stuff on me. Up Eau Rouge now. Gonna head to Radion. Oh, it's gonna be so tight. They didn't lose it. They were dead sideways at one point. Side by side, the battle we've been looking for, been waiting this whole season, and Skunk VTech gets it done before he even hits the corner. Amazing stuff there. Now he's got the lead. He must not make any more mistakes at this point in time. Fantastic stuff. That battle was over before it really even started. But look, he's already half a second.
Oh, an awesome
ahead of KSI. Is awesome now has a 3-second time penalty. We're going to start to see more of those in the race. I believe 2-second time penalty. I do remember seeing that. I'm going to double check. And as funny enough, 3 warnings for KSI, but he doesn't have a penalty, so Skunk needs to push. Skunk really needs to push now. It's going to be another 3-second time penalty there. Now, I don't know if KSI knows that or not, but KSI needs to push. Both these guys really need to push, because it's going to be the difference between winning and losing. No soft tires.
Yeah. With the current points, Midnight would hold the lead.
Ooh.
Oh! And both of them really loose throughout the turns, but anyways, Midnight will have a 2-point advantage if the results held, but if you include penalties, KSI would be ahead in the standings by 3 points.
Yeah, I think that is right. Yep. I think 5 points actually. Maybe. Maybe
no, because Midnight would get a spot on right too.
Oh yeah, 12-point gap. Okay. Oh, my bad. Didn't do my research. Anyway, doesn't seem like KSI is really losing any time. Skunk's saving it. He's very cautious, keeping it in mode 0. KSI is in a mode higher than him, but KSI not letting him get too far away. Anyway, I was going to say before, tactical loss, and those soft tires may have not really been the best choice for him. He hasn't really gained a lot on these top 2 here. And I don't really see too big of a gap starting to grow between him and Ride 2. In addition to that, so he's going to have to, really make sure he uses those soft tires to his advantage.
Austin has to pit one more time. He will very likely, with these time gaps, fall to 6th. Not the race and not the result he was looking for.
Yeah, I think with Skunk, he needs to really start to push it a bit more in that middle sector. He gains most of his time through there, but I think he really needs to, at this point, since he knows he's got a 3-second time penalty, he's just going to really have to push it now. Really get that extra 3 seconds on him, because he definitely can. He's been half a second quicker than him in terms of lap time before, so I mean, he's already doing that. I think he was 1.5 seconds ahead of him in that one lap, so I think he's starting to push it a bit more.
And he needs to get 3 out ahead. It's up to 1.5 now, so
It's halfway there.
he's making it happen. And KSI gets a time penalty.
Never mind.
Now,
But that's gone away there.
now VTech's
Oh,
got
I'm
the lead
gonna
in
check.
this race.
I'm gonna check. We'll have to see. You never know if VTech may have gotten an extra penalty there. Okay, VTech is not. He's not having an easy time because he's running before he gets another penalty. So he's got to be perfect at this stage in the race. He cannot let KSI get too close to him because he's gonna have to, really start eking that gap out. And if I'm now VTech right now, I'm still gonna make sure that I get over 3 seconds. Since I know I'm on the verge of getting a second penalty, I want to make sure I've got 3 seconds no matter what. Even if he doesn't have penalty or not, I'm going to make sure I push as hard as I can. Push too hard if I'm not spinning or anything or weighing the tires. I'm just going to push hard just to make sure I have a reasonable gap to win.
Alrighty, so we have time. This is not the halfway break anymore. This is like the 2/3 break.
Oh, right.
Third week in a row. But we're going to do a quick rundown through the field. So our leader, Skunk VTech, started this race in 5th. Actually, 4th, I'm not too sure. I think it was 4th. But he was able to drive up through the field. A couple of other people's mishaps. He has now moved up as he locks up there. He has now moved into 1st. He has a 2.7 second advantage over KSI, but one more warning could put him with a 3-second time penalty. KSI, who has dominated most of this race, just like last week, started 2nd but took the lead early and is looking to hopefully win, but just got a time penalty. That's him in the position that he needs to go back up there and run down. VTech's been a little faster the past few laps, but I know KSI's got the speed to do it. In 3rd, Austin, driver that's really also looking to be a contender for this championship, but a bad strategy call may put him in trouble as he will probably need to be pitting one more time. It'll be incredible if he can stay out on these tires for 7 more laps, but we just have to wait and see. And for 4th, we have a 3-car fight for 4th starting to appear. Get to out there in 4th. He is having a pretty solid day, just like last week. However, those time penalties are definitely at Midnight in 5th, who is the only driver in the top 6 to not have a time penalty. Props to him. This is something that we've seen a lot from him this season. So he would finish in 4th if the race ended now if you had time penalties. So Midnight is doing a solid job. As of now, he will be the championship leader by roughly, give or take, 4 points over KSI if you take into account the penalties. In 6th place, you have SnB, and struggles for him, just like running well, just a wreck at a turn that's expected to crash that, but it has claimed a few drivers today. And SnB is currently sitting 6th. He has also got a 6-second time penalty as KSI runs the fastest lap. That means he ain't running giving up on this race just yet. But yeah, SnB is currently sitting in 6th. He might go up to 5th. He's running down the 2 in front of him, and if Austin needs to pit again, he could still have a solid day. In 7th, we have Justin. Fairly quiet day for him. He's been able to keep it out of trouble most of the time. He had to make an early stop, but nonetheless, still having a good job in 7th place. He stayed out of harm and looks like he's going to have a solid points finish for Ferrari. In 8th, we have the J-Mac Attack 34. He as well has had a day pretty much out of trouble. Perhaps here and there, but nonetheless, also had to pit a little early, but has still ran a pretty solid race so far. He's going to hold on in 8th unless something catastrophic happens in the next 6 laps. In 9th, we have Dion Fordub, and he's been the model of just taking points where you can get them. He's currently sitting in a tie for 8th in points, but he's been gets solid 6th and 7th throughout the week, throughout the season. But right now, he's sitting in 9th. Probably not where he wants to be. He just made a pit stop, so we'll see if he can get back to the field. And then 10th through 12th, Sparky crashed up a Radeon on cold mediums. That's probably the worst thing you could ever say. Also on pole to start the race. Just not the day he was looking for. Hell is here and Spec both wrecking out pretty early in the race in similar positions. And they will be looking to avenge themselves next week when we go to Paul Ricard. And that is your through the field.
Thank you. As we were actually 5 laps to go left in a race, surprisingly. It's happens. This race has happened. It's just. What am I trying to say? Race has gone quickly. KSI not KSI. Skunk has got the lead now on KSI. Is right on the back of Midnight for P5, but since Midnight doesn't have a penalty yet, Midnight really won't lose anything. Because I'm thinking because SnB has 6 seconds total of time. He really won't lose anything if he can just. He doesn't probably know this, but if he does let SnB through on the straight, he could probably just stay in his slipstream and try and catch up to Raitu, which would be a very smart move there. But since he's a very consistent driver, he's gonna move over to the side here, defend. Oh, they contact.
More contact. More contact. Oh, it's
SnB spun it. Oh, I can't. I don't even. I'm watching your stream right now. There's gonna be a little bit of delay here. So SnB side by side with him. Oh, he got a little wide. That's just a racing incident by the look of it. Just looks like there was room. They just touched side pots, and that was it for SnB. Unfortunate day for him. Really was hoping him here, but now it's just. I don't know. It looked like Midnight locked up the brake trying to defend. I don't know. He seems like I don't know. I thought Midnight was going to let him through there, but then again, he's also pretty aggressive sometimes. We saw that at China. As Skunk VTech now gets a 46.1 now. He's at the fastest lap once more for the 3rd time in this race. We may start to see a back and forth challenge between fastest laps between him and KSI, but saying that, KSI is almost 4 seconds behind Skunk VTech.
VTech is at the point where if he gets a penalty, he still holds the lead. So VTech is trying to wrap this one up in the final 4 laps.
Right. And I think that also you gotta pay attention, even though he's not really part of the lead fight. Austin's done 10 laps on those soft tires. You gotta wonder if he's ever gonna pit. If he's gonna pit for those supers and just try and get fastest lap at the end, or he's actually gonna try and get these softs to the very, very end. So you gotta be careful about that, because he is 3rd in the points right now, and he could potentially, if he does pit, he could lose that 3rd place to Skunk VTech, because Skunk is about, if I can think off the top of my head, about 10 points behind.
It's 11. I think it's 11. It's 11.
11 points. 11 points. 11 points.
And the gap
behind.
right now is 10 points. If you out of this race,
right.
It's a 10-point gap.
Yeah.
So it would be a 1-point difference into Austin's favor if the race were to end under these results. But look at the championship fight. If we get to that point, we're gonna have Midnight with the penalties, just a mere 4 points ahead of KSI. And then, if you look a little further back, you're going to have Austin about, I would say, 7 points behind KSI. And then VTech 1 point behind Austin. So these guys are all going to be within 15 points of each other. Yeah, 12, 15 points of each other going into the last race of the winter break. And to be within that close in the first 6 races is just incredible. But if you're looking at KSI and you're looking at VTech, both of those guys have not raced as much. And if close that gap, those two could be deadly going for a championship.
Absolutely, and SnB and Sparky are dark horses since they only entered this season last week. But I mean, 12 point. If it stays as is, at the moment we have 3 laps to go. If it stays as is, God, I cannot speak. Then I mean that may be one of the closest shake and bake battles we've had in all of shake and bake history. I don't think from what I can remember, I don't remember there being a championship battle where it was the top 4 rated by about, I don't know, 12 points. I mean, I don't know what the top 5 is like, because I believe Raitu's in 5th. I don't know where he'll stack up, but it's been a very close season so far. It's great to see, and I believe as well that the top 4 are different manufacturers, which is crazy, because there's Skunk VTech in the Mercedes, you got KSI in the McLaren, you got Austin in the Red Bull, and you got Midnight in the Ferrari. So this is ideal. This is ideal. And Raitu, if you count him in 5th in the Renault, it's just ideal stuff for this league, and that's what we want to see.
As we close in on the final 2 laps of this race, it has been one for Skunk VTech to remember. It's been a story for him. We saw it at China. Was able to drive through the field, make the passes he needed, and go win races. And if he can just nail this track 2 more times, he will win. You know he's going to be going up over. He's very cautious. Same with KSI. Austin, on the other hand, it's probably going to be the worst 2 laps of his life.
Careful.
On those old soft tires. See if the track's bearing.
It's going to be agonizing. Because if you remember from the first part of the race, even though it was at the first stint,
he is back.
You gotta remember that midnight.
Way off the throttle.
You gotta remember that midnight. Only went 10 started the race on those soft compound tires, and that was a challenge for him. And speaking of midnight, he's losing a lot too in the Renault, but I don't think that should be a big issue for him. His main issue is Skeppy, who's really closing in behind him. If we're looking at that battle. I mean, I don't know what Skeppy, how cool he is behind the wheel, but you're gonna have to keep an eye out. Keep your eyes peeled for that battle. Gotta keep your eyes peeled for the guy in third still. Still looking at him, Austin, who's just having to coast by the looks of it, just in order to get to the end of this race.
Yeah, it's gonna be a margin of battles for those guys in 5th, and a margin of tire battle for the driver in the 3rd. And it's going to be a margin of track battle for VTech as he tries to conquer this track one more time. If he is able to do that, he will be, as Justin gets a penalty. VTech will be the first driver this season to get wins. And for this season to have so many changes of power, that's going to be huge. He's just got to nail it one more time.
He got through He's got through our Rouge. He's all right. Now he's just got to get through Pouan, Stapolo. You know, those 2 difficult corners, and he'll be set sail. Just drove a flawless race. Qualifying the soft tires, highest qualifying soft runner. And that seems to have helped him only a little bit. Didn't help him as much as he thought, because both he and KSI, he was on the Supers at the very same time, so it looked like it was going to be a struggle for him to get by KSI, but now he really demonstrates his pace on the same compound tires. Midnight gets a penalty, so that's not good for him if he wants to gain any places.
That actually pushes him. That's going to push him out, I think. That might push him out. And that might...
No,
that
might get him 5th, yeah, but
4th.
That might get him 2 points behind KSI, or 2 points ahead of KSI in the championship. But anyway, our main focus is the guy in 3rd right now. Sorry, I can't speak.
Skep has dominated the second half of this race, just like he did at China. Skunk has dominated throughout this race. I'm sorry, we'll probably say Skep's name later. But he has dominated this race, and he will be a contender for the championship. He is your winner here at Belgium.
3rd win of the season.
KSI's going to cross the line in 2nd. And now...
Look at those front tires on Austin. Oh my goodness.
He is nursing them to the end now.
ERS.
He's got a good 7.5 seconds clear. Cross the line in 3rd. Incredible tire saving battle for him.
Amazing.
And he's going to hold on for a podium finish. And now we've got these 2 going for 5th. Although I think 5th is already decided for points. Riot 2 gets the 5-second stop and go.
He didn't serve a stop go.
And Midnight is going to take 4th place back.
Oh man. Oh, and he doesn't. Oh, Skeppy couldn't even get 5th as a result of that. That's insane. It wasn't a fight in the track, but in terms of penalties, that was a crazy battle there for P4. And Midnight came out on top.
He's giving KSI a bump, even though it's his ghost. Justin across the line in 7th, and J-Mac is going to finish in 8th, as long as he doesn't get disqualified. But VTech, 3 for 4 on the season. about that? The
Pretty
first.
good race. It was very clean.
This is the first time we'll ever see Costa Rica on the podium. Maybe the last time we'll ever see Costa Rica on
Well,
the podium.
he's technically France. He's just changing his nationality. I don't know. That's weird. I wonder how many passports he's got.
Oh yeah. Or how many people he's mugged.
That too.
Anyways, this is PG. Great race by these front three. Everybody with their own qualities. VTech able to drive through the field and win. KSI able to dominate most of the race and come up a little bit short. And Austin able to stretch about 14, 15 laps on soft tires and finish the race in third. His third podium of the season, I believe. Everyone's got time penalties except Dion and J-Mac.
That's pretty impressive. Both Haas cars too.
Haas working it. And those are the standings for you guys. Unchanged from what we were talking about prior. But yeah, that is how the standings look. Midnight just ahead by 4 points. Austin only 11 points back, and VTech is only 12 back. And this constructor battle also, I don't know if this is correct or not, because we do have other people getting their points in. But if it's the way I'm thinking, Red Bull's going to be behind by 1 point. So Red Bull does have 11 extra points for Recon. So Ferrari would have 114, Red Bull 113, and Mercedes 108. And McLaren with 91 striking in the distance. So the constructor battle is going to be close all the way down to the wire.
Watch out for McLaren next week. Watch out for McLaren next week at France. These two are they're very hopeful for that track. They both love it. They both know that they're quick enough to win at France. So just, you got to watch out for McLaren to make a massive, I want to say breakout race. Just watch them to dominate it potentially. They've been very quick on it. They've had a lot of success. So I think you're going to have, the two McLarens of Skeppy and KSI are definitely ones to watch for next week. But anyway, besides all that, we're going to do some podium interviews at the moment. Here we go. Hello. Good job.
Good work out there.
Let's see. Oh yeah, Austin got third. I forgot who's who. Oh my gosh.
The number of notifications I got in the past minute is insane. I don't even know why. Just a bunch of things happen at once. All right. Are we good to start?
I think so.
All right. So Austin, just to make sure your audio is included in the stream, right?
10-4.
Yeah, I shouldn't really ask you that question because you've already been on the podium enough to know this, but there you go. So anyways, first off, congratulations on that third place finish. You started the race a little struggled, started third, but fell back to fifth. How are you able to move up from that fifth place position and then finish on the podium? Solid race for you out there. How are you able to do it?
Well, it was a lot of tire saving with those softs, and well, I totally forgot my train of thought. Hold up. Well, tire saving, yeah, and people in front of me, I knew this ideal strategy would probably be super softs and mediums, so I thought I could change it up and hopefully stretch the softs because I did the practice race, and in that practice race, I had a puncture in the final lap, and so I thought I would just save the tires, and luckily behind me, Riot 2, Jeff told me he had a 6-second time penalty, so I was taking it calm, and luckily that I didn't get a puncture, and I got a podium finish.
Indeed.
Okey-doke, nice.
So you got a Once again, solid finish out there. Your third podium of the season. If I get this correct, you are now within 11 points of that championship battle between about 3 other drivers. We go into next week. We go to a new track. We go to France, Parcard. New to the F1 calendar, new to F1 players. How are you going to tackle that track and hopefully get your first win?
Well, probably not going to be my first win. This is not one of my good tracks. I'm going to practice a lot. I have ran here in career mode 2 times with strict corner cutting, and it is pretty strict, but it's not hard to get penalties. And if I somehow do get a win, I have to thank God, because I don't know how I would win at France. I'm not a fan of the track.
I know a lot of drivers will be saying they're not fans of that track. It's a new track, completely challenged. I think this is the first time F1 has gone here in 13 years. I'm probably wrong on that, but it has been a long time. New to everybody. So, once again, congratulations on your third place finish, and we'll be looking forward to see you try to win this race next week.
Thank you.
All right, time to interview the runner-up. Lucky, I think you got this in your hands.
Okay, doke. So second place in the race was KSI Ain't Scared. They have a pretty good race. Great job to get second place. Was leading at first stint. Then it seemed to not be in his favor anymore, as Skunk ended up passing him and took the win away. So just take us through your thoughts on your pretty much your whole practice. You practiced a lot for this race today. What your mindset was in qualifying. Just tell us your whole thoughts of the weekend.
Well, right now my main thought is, how in the hell did he only get 1 3-second time penalty? I mean, that was just stupid. The whole time that he was catching up behind me, I was saving ERS the whole time, saving fuel at the same time. He couldn't keep it on the track on every exit I looked back on. And then whenever I let him go in front of me, I was like, all right, now I'll just sit here behind him for a while. And then with about 4 to go, I'll start battling. And then he couldn't hit apexes and exits right then either. And then, the whole freaking time I'm following him, I'm like, all right, I'm going to try to hit his line because he's pulling away from me. I hit his line for a whole lap and picked up a 3-second time penalty. So I don't know what they did to this game, this year. Belgium's never been a good track for me. That's why I practiced a lot today. Me and my teammate were just trying to get a good solid finish. We're going for the constructors right now. Obviously I'm just a little irritated right now. Had the whole race pretty packed up and ready to go, and then, you step out to follow somebody on their line and you get a penalty from it. So then you step back in line, you're like, okay, I'll just save till the end. They'll have a shit ton of penalties. And then on the last lap, you ask your engineer, hey, how many penalties has he got? He's like, he's got 1 3-second time penalty. I swear to God, I wanted to bend it in the wall.
Yeah, it was a very difficult race for you at that stage. Just seems like definitely can understand your frustration. Pretty much, okay, I don't know what else to ask. I'm just going to ask the same question. So next weekend, the race, yeah, I know, sorry. I really wasn't prepared for today.
Copyright
anyway,
infringement.
Yeah, pretty much this will be the final race before winter break. The very long winter break is France. And I know you've been saying that you're very pumped and excited for this track. What are your goals? I mean, of course you want to win, but just are you gonna do anything differently around France? Or are you just gonna do the same practice technique, or what's gonna be your mindset entering this race? No.
To put Skunk VTech as far behind me as possible, because apparently he's got some sort of a weird little hack going on or some shit. No, I'm just playing. But I don't know. France is actually a track that me and my teammate actually really enjoy. We're both expecting a 1-2 at France. So, McLaren will be on top there most likely, hopefully. As long as Skeppy can keep it clean and I can keep it clean, we'll be 1-2 there. Because both of us have very, very good pace whenever we race there in past leagues, and we both podiumed there in past leagues this season. So, just keep it clean like normal, racing attrition, and at the end, push hard.
Nice. Well, thank you very much for that. We'll be definitely seeing you, I think, near the front. And now for Skunk V, the winner here. Fortunately, his English isn't very strong, so I'll be reading what he sent to me. In qualifying, he did 2 runs on the soft tires, which is pretty impressive that he got a 43.1 on 2 runs. It's not a very easy thing to do on this track, and that didn't really set him up too well. And he was hoping to pit around lap 11, but because of his tire wear, he could only pit on lap 8, and to get himself back into rhythm, he was changing the ERS a lot to get himself back in rhythm. And he hasn't answered my other question yet, but that's his home track next week. That's France. I'm sure he's very pumped and excited for it, and I'm pretty sure, just like previous races, he'll be one to look out for at the circuit. So yeah, that's pretty much all I've got to say. That's Scott Vitek has to say for this race, and he did a very great job to get P1.
Yeah, it's a tough race to do 22 laps around this track, and good thing we only had 3 DNFs, so I was expecting a little bit more, especially from last week, but y'all kept it clean. It was fun to watch out there, and for all you people in the stream, thanks for stopping by. I really appreciate it. It's kind of rough to get people, but starting to do better than last season, so that's always a good sign. But I've mentioned this quite a bit. We have a championship battle really starting to develop. The top 4 separated by only 12 points. You have consistency versus domination. Which of that 2 is going to win? And you never know. The top 4 in the points finished in the top 4 today, so we're really looking at the best in this league going for the championship. Anyways, that is me. I am going to wrap up now. Yes, that is me. Just said that. Anyways, I will catch you guys next week, December 1st. Same day I take an SAT, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We go to France. Final race before the winter break, but I have some things prepared over the winter break, and I'll be streaming a little bit more, especially on this game with possibly some of the F1 drivers doing a couple one-off races. Yeah, anyways, I'll see you guys next week. Take care.
Ooh, short track race for a one-off. That sounds like